my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Angela, and today I'm going to be doing a challenge. I'm actually hopping on that YouTube train. It is a trend right now on YouTube. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the videos of people recreating different makeup looks of like big beauty vloggers or YouTubers on here, and I decided that I'm going to try and follow a Jaclyn Hill makeup tutorial today for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think it'll just be really fun, and number two, I'm not going to be using any of the same products that she's using. I do have a couple, I guess, like higher end products, but I'm also using a lot of like drugstore products too, and a lot more affordable products. So, you know, if you're someone like me who can't afford to go out and buy like Chanel products, like super high end, I want to see how this look will come out using completely different products. A lot of them are much cheaper and a lot more affordable. So I think it'll be fun. And please excuse my, I got henna a couple weeks ago for a photo shoot and it's still fading. So I know, I just realized that looks kind of weird, but it's henna and it's just fading. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this tutorial.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing a very in-depth, step-by-step, how to talk through tutorial on this look that you see right here. Okay, I'm gonna start off by priming my face. You use whatever primer you have and you love. It can also be a moisturizer if you have a great moisturizer that you love.
All right guys, so like she said, I also do this when I'm doing my normal everyday makeup. I have really dry skin, so right now I'm just using my my Pond's dry skin cream. If you try and put like foundation and baking with like a bunch of powder and foundation and a bunch of different types of makeups on really dry skin, it can make it look really cakey and dry, make your fine lines stand out. So a good tip is to make sure your skin is well moisturized first. So after I do my Pond's face cream, I'm going to do my oil-free moisture because I have dry skin. It's Neutrogena SPF 15. I know I should probably find one that has higher SPF, but this is what I have for now. I could usually use more, but I'm not leaving my house today, so I don't want to waste it. So for my primer, I'm going to use my foundation primer from Bare Minerals. So I just took like a little less like a dime size, and I'm just gonna tap it to make sure I get it evenly all over my face. All right, now that I've prepped my face, let's go ahead and get back to following Jaclyn Hill's tutorial.
Okay, now I'm gonna pick up foundation. I'm gonna go in with the Dior Forever foundation. I'm gonna just dab this around my face to get off my finger.
I'm gonna pause the video that I'm following every once in a while just to show you the products that I'm using. I know I'm not using, like I said, I'm not using any of the same products that she is. I'm using my Mary Kay foundation just because it's the only one that I have. I need to go out and experiment and buy more. And I'm also just using my fingers to blend it in because I'm not fancy and I don't have a foundation brush. So this is also why I think tutorials like this are helpful, because you know, not everybody has the same tools, and you can still make, you know, great makeup looks without all those fancy tools. You might just have to put a little bit more effort in. So after I do that, to blend it, I know she's using her brush, but I just use my beauty blender and go in and make sure that there are no harsh lines.
Okay, next I'm gonna fill in my brows, and for today's look, I'm gonna fill them in totally different than I normally do. Typically, I'll draw a line in the very front and I'll bring it out, I'll buff it up, I'll blend. For today, I'm actually only gonna fill in the spots where there's actually like hair missing and it truly needs the fullness. I wanna keep it as natural looking as possible. So whatever your natural brow routine is, just do that.
So since she said to keep it natural, I'm trying to follow this tutorial as closely as possible, even while I'm using different products. So when I'm going natural, I don't fill in my brows just because they're already pretty thick. So if you do want to fill in your brows, you can use, if you want a very affordable brow pencil, e.l.f. is a very affordable drugstore product, but I'm just going to use the bristles and fill them in real quick. I mean, not fill them in, just brush them into place. And then I'm going in with my e.l.f. brow gel. I'm actually out of the gel side. I'm going to use the clear mascara side, but you know, see, whatever works for you.
Now I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox Step by Step Contour Stick. This is just a giant crayon in the shade Bronze. It comes in a little pack with all three of them. It's bronze, contour, and highlight. I'm literally gonna just follow the shadow of my cheekbone, which is like right about here. Start with one line.
So I'm going to follow her, but I am obviously using a different contour palette. I have a Younique contour palette. I didn't buy this. A friend gave it to me because they just didn't really care for it because they don't do their makeup very often. So they gave it to me. I've used it once, but I'm not really good at liquid contouring at all. I always just use powder and bronzer. So we will see how this comes out. So I'm just going to use the brush that came with it. This is also a Younique brush, but it has the bronzer and I think that this is the bronzer and this is the highlight, and I'm not sure what that is because, you know, I don't know. Let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to use the bronzer to follow exactly what she's doing right here on the cheek area. That's coming off. Okay guys, so we're gonna get fancy and use our finger, and then we'll blend it. Beautiful. Not really. Okay. Anyways, let's hope that gets better. I am not Jaclyn Hill. Did I mention that before we started this tutorial? I do not have her skills. Okay. Okay.
I'm going to grab a little duo fiber brush to blend that out with. This is a MAC 130. And I'm just going to begin to just go straight back and forth. And then once we have that line buffed out a little bit, I'll go in like little tiny circular motions. I want to keep that color in its place as much as possible, so I don't want to like take that and like move it all around the place. Like I want to continue to stay on the line that I created. And I've talked about this before, but honestly, you do not need like sticks like this to do this method at all. Honestly, you can go to the drugstore, pick up one of your favorite foundations. I would suggest something kind of on the more matte to natural side, like the original L'Oreal True Match. Just get that in a darker shade than your skin. Get it like 4 or 5 shades darker. Take a drop of it and just boop, 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 dot it on your face and just go ahead and blend it out, and you will get the exact same outcome. You do not need like a stick foundation. You do not need a crayon like this. You can honestly just get a foundation a couple shades darker and it will do the trick.
Okay, I have to pause it because I'm not as fast as her. This is going to take some time. Does that look like it's blending? It kind of looks like there's just mud on my face, but that's okay.
All right, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna draw some lines up on my forehead because we do not want a pale forehead. I never wanna leave this area alone. This will just overall make the face look so much more put together and defined. Okay, now only because I'm high maintenance, I'm gonna grab some of this Chanel cream bronzer. This is the Soleil Tan de Chanel. I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up on just a buffer brush.
So I don't have the Chanel one. I'm going to use my Bare Minerals bronzer that I've used many a times in my past tutorials. I will go ahead and try and link all the products that I use for this video below.
So I'm just gonna dab some of this over top and then blend that out, and this will make it look smoother. Honestly, you guys, this Chanel bronzer is one of those products that even though it is very expensive, it's a luxury brand, of course, it's Chanel, I honestly think that it is so necessary. Like, it's in my top 3 must-have from luxury brands as far as cosmetics go. And you guys know, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, I have been using this for years and it never gets old. I sing its praises every time I put it on.
Okay, so I thought I was recording and I wasn't. For this next step where she did the lines with her contour stick, I went ahead and used my MAC and I just did 3 lines down like this on each side. And then I went ahead and buffed it out on each side. I'm not done on this side. So you're just gonna go like this, and then you wanna make sure there's no harsh lines. So I'm going in circular motions because, like she said, you just wanna make sure that it is blended very well.
Okay, so for concealer, a lot of times when I do this look, I don't even apply concealer. I just go ahead and move forward at this point. But if you do want to do concealer, you would want to do just a very small amount. So we don't want anything to get caked up or be too heavy. So I'm literally going to do just a dot in the inner corner of my eye and then just blend it out ever so lightly. And I have been exhausted recently, so I do have a little bit of discoloration underneath my eyes more than normal, so I will just put a dab underneath of there, especially for the purpose of this video. Just a dab will do, yeah. All right, now I'm gonna pick up some of these Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops in the shade Moonlight. I will go back and forth between Moonlight and Sunlight typically, and sometimes I'll also mix them together, whatever I'm feeling that day, but Moonlight is the lightest one. What I'll do is I'll take that out in a dropper and I will just put it on the back of my hand, like just one drop is fine because a little bit will go a long way with these. I'm gonna take a damp beauty sponge. This one is by Morphe, and I'm going to just go ahead and tap it directly onto my hand. And then I'm gonna go right on the high point of my face. You can see how intense that is. It's such a pretty highlight.
So I don't have any of those products, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip that and just use my MAC highlighter. So I'm using my MAC highlighter, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my MAC 168 brush, and I'm going to go ahead and just apply that.
And I'm just going to dab over it several times just to blend that baby out. Go back and forth and apply more as I see needed. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour Palette. Can we just talk about how dope this packaging is? Like, this is actually like raised off of the palette itself. It's so cool. Like the original one was just like a cardboard, and now this one is so sassy. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna pick up these two highlighting shades, I'm gonna mix them together on my brush. I'm just gonna dab that on my under eye area. And I'm gonna make sure to not cover up that highlight that we put on, so I'm not gonna bring this over on my cheekbone area. I'm only bringing it right underneath the inner part of the under eye where my concealer and my foundation always tends to move, increase, and break up.
So next she's gonna set the face, and I'm gonna use my Airspun translucent powder to do that.
Okay, and while we're in the spirit of setting the face, I'm gonna go in with some of this MAC Cosmetics Next to Nothing pressed powder. I actually haven't used this yet. I'm gonna just grab it on a big fluffy brush. I'm just going to lightly set the bottom half of my face. For this look, I don't powder my entire face. Like, I'm not gonna go over all my contour. I'm not gonna go over all my highlight. I'm just gonna powder like the bottom of my face, the inner corner like of the under eye, and then like my top lip area. I'm gonna grab some Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, and I'm gonna just set my brows really quickly.
I already did that. So this next part of the tutorial is where it's gonna get really different for me, because she's gonna start applying the eyeshadow, and I do not have that very silver metallic-y liquid color, so I'm gonna do a couple different steps in order to try and achieve the same look with normal pressed eyeshadow powder. So first I'm gonna go over both my eyelids to kind of prime it with my MAC Nylon Frost color. Now that I've already kind of put on my base with that eyeshadow, I'm gonna go ahead and try and create the same look that she's creating with the liquid with the color Revolt from my electric palette, from my Urban Decay electric palette. So we're gonna go in with this color right here.
Okay, so now for the really fun part, I'm gonna go in with the Stila Metals Glitter and Glow liquid eyeshadow that looks like this. I've been raving about these like crazy recently. I believe everyone has. They're so amazing. They come on a little wand like this, and this color is like really silver. So I'm just gonna take this wand and literally just draw this all over the lid area. And if you wanna make it heavier in some areas, you can. Like, I typically like to make it the thickest in the center of the lid. That way, like when I blink, you really get that intense like wow factor right in the center. And I like to keep it a little bit more minimal in the inner corner typically, but sometimes I just get heavy-handed and just do it all just bam. I mean, really, there is no wrong when applying glitter. And once I get up towards the crease of the eye, I'll make sure that I have much less product on the wand, and I'll just like kind of barely tap that glitter in the crease. I'm gonna double dip back in, get that poppin'. Yes, honey, oh my God, it's so beautiful.
So after we put on Revolt from our Urban Decay electric palette, I'm going to go ahead and use my Jesse's Girl Eye Dust. I believe this is a drugstore brand too. It's very, very, very shimmery, so I'm going to go ahead and use that instead of the product that she's using to try and achieve a similar look.
Okay, so now I'm going to pick up some of the Makeup Forever Star Lit Powder in the shade 13. I'm going to grab just a small synthetic brush. This is the MAC 242 brush I use all the time. I'm going to just dab it right there just a little bit, and then what I always do is I go to the lid and I kind of just like rub it around in the lid because it is such fine, like loose powder. You really barely need any of it. And I'm going to use this just to highlight my brow bone very lightly. Like, look at that glow. Are you kidding me? So I'm not gonna bring this highlighter all the way down to the glitter. The glitter stops about right here, and I'm stopping my highlight about right here, because what's gonna happen is the color of your skin is gonna become kind of a natural shadow and look like you have on a little bit of eyeshadow right there to kind of carve out that crease, but you don't. It's just an illusion between the glitter and the highlight. Okay, so let's throw some mascara on now. I'm gonna use, of course, the L'Oreal Voluminous in Carbon Black. This is one of my favorite mascaras ever. I'm just gonna put a thin coat on my top lashes only because I am gonna pop on some false ones. You do not have to put on false lashes for this look at all. I know I always say it, but truly you don't.
So I don't have fake lashes, unfortunately. I was gonna try and do them today. I do have some fake ones that I bought from Forever 21, but they're super, super over the top. And I don't have the actual lash glue, and I tried to put them on before the tutorial to see if they would stay with the natural like little sticky glue that it already has on it, and it just doesn't work. So unfortunately I'm gonna skip the lash process, but she said this look would work with or without lashes. So I think it's gonna be fine.
Okay, so now for the lower lash line, I'm going to pick up some MAC Chromographic Pencil in the shade NC15-NW20. It's basically just a flesh colored eyeliner. That was hard to say for some reason. So any flesh colored eyeliner that you have, like, go ahead and line your lower waterline with that. The purpose of that is just to bring more attention to the eyes. It'll definitely make them look a little bit more doll-like and awake. Then I'm gonna put some mascara on my lower lash line. I'm gonna go in with the Extended Play Giga Black Lash by MAC. So now the eyes are completely done. Now, if you wanna leave your highlight like this, you totally can, which I actually really like it like this because it's like very beautiful and fresh and subtle. But if you wanna go over top of it, you can as well. I got this palette in the mail yesterday and I was just so intrigued by it. It's the Violet Voss Pro Highlight Palette, and I just think it's so beautiful. It's like very dense and heavy, and it comes with 6 full-size highlights like this. So I'm gonna pick up Bloom and what's this called? Petals, and I'm going to mix these two together. I'm gonna tap off a bunch of the excess just so it's really light. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. Sorry if I'm not in focus. Where am I? There we are. That is so beautiful. Wow. What a gorgeous highlight. Cupid's bow, of course. Let's accentuate those lips even more. Then I'm gonna take that highlight on that same brush that I used to highlight my brow bone. I'm gonna bring it just down the center of the nose. I'm gonna create a pretty dramatic line, and then I'm gonna just buff that line out because I don't want to keep it looking like an exclamation point, because that's just like, hi, a little too much. I'm gonna pop some of that highlight just right here in the inner corner of my eye, just really lightly.
So for the lips, she's doing 2 different looks, so I'm going to do both of them. Like I said, I don't have any of those colors, so I'm going to do my best to stick to something similar. So this is actually Avon, and the color is Honey Gloss, and I'm going to go ahead and just put a Forever 21 sparkling gloss over it to achieve a similar look to the first one that she is doing.
This is the shade Aquarius by Kathleen Lights and ColourPop, and it is the gloss. I'm just going to put this on just to see this with a nice glossy lip. Such a beautiful gloss. Like, I love the color so much. Like, it's not too pale and it doesn't have too much color, and it's just the perfect amount of shine. She did such a good job with this. So you could do a nude color like this, or you could do a bold one like this color right here. This is Anastasia in the shade Tulip. I love it because it's like not a red, but it's not a pink. It's like such a gorgeous raspberry shade.
Alright guys, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Obviously it looks a lot different, or not a lot different, it just looks different than Jaclyn Hill's. It doesn't look exactly the same just because I didn't have the same products as her. And I obviously did not have that very pretty silver glitter that she used to really make her eyelids pop, but I still like the way it came out. It's a little bit more subtle, and it's still really fun and really bold, and I was able to use what I already had in my house, which was the purpose of this video. You know, if you can't afford to go out and buy really expensive high-end products, you can still use what you have, or you can find some really good products at the drugstore and still make them work for you. So I like it. It's kind of giving me a 90s vibe, and it's like super shimmery and just very fun and playful, and I love it. So I hope you guys loved it too. I will try and link all the products that I used in the description below, and as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because it helps me out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!